Hello, I'm Glenn Tobey. I'm a Spring Forest Shikang master and a psychotherapist. The topic of this talk on the art of coming home to your heart is focused on caring fatigue. So caring fatigue comes when someone cares so much. However, they begin to feel overwhelmed and overloaded. I think it's a common thing. As a psychotherapist over the last few months, I have talked to many people who are experiencing this fatigue of caring. And they start feeling guilty about it themselves. I should be able to care. I should be able to do my duty. I should be able to go out there, and it's not happening. There's something about how can I get fatigued by caring? How can I get fatigued by caring so much? It's not an uncommon experience, but it's a deeply personal one. It goes right to the caretaker, the caregiver's heart. Wait a minute, I'm here to care, and now I don't feel like doing that. Or I can't find the energy to do that. Like the shaming, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? So yes, in the United States, if this a pandemic, if this epidemic really was like a conventional war, where an enemy country sent over boatloads of enemy soldiers or plane loads of enemy soldiers, and they landed and they found themselves positioned in little guerrilla units throughout the United States, and they pick off people one at a time or three at a time, or little bomb goes up. In the United States, 10 million people have been wounded in this war. A quarter million or more have died in this war. In other countries, as you know. So in a conventional setting, this kind of wounding, this kind of a killing would have this coordinated effort, to defeat the enemy. But in the States and elsewhere, the messaging is kind of mixed. It's confusing. It's unsupportive. How come it happened? I don't know. But those of you that are caregivers in a professional setting, so the message, is it behind you? Are you supported? Is what you're doing useful and purposeful? Don't know. So the power of what's happening to you is not any fault of your own. It's a condition that's going on. And finding a way to connect more with yourself. It's almost like this is not what I expected in being a professional caregiver. I expected to have smiles. I expected to make a touch on a patient's shoulder. I expected hugs maybe from a loved one's a parent or a friend. I expected that kind of connection, the eyes, all those things I expected in my training to be a professional caregiver or unprofessional caregiver like most of us are. But we don't have that. The masks, no face, the protocols, the distance, everything we were trained that goes along with the healing process no longer is there. So the expectation of who we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to be nurtured and nourished, really is off. And it becomes a powerful form of isolation. So whenever there's a death, the grieving sets in, the sadness sets in. The purpose of the sadness is you got to make a connection with someone. You got to make a connection with someone. Otherwise, the sadness really turns into isolation. There's an old Buddhist phrase, your mind is like a bad neighborhood. Don't go there alone. Don't go there alone in the sadness inside. Always find a way to make the connection with that sadness of losing the way you thought life was supposed to be. Master Lin, my Shikang teacher, showed me a diagram. And the diagram was like three little figures. And translated, the diagram said, 100 loves lost. And the English translation is, depression. So the more I fall out of love with myself, so if love is a vibration inside me, the more 100 loves I lose, so to speak, I'm going to feel depressed. I'm going to feel powerless. So finding that connection, the coming home to that which, invites you up. You ever hang out with people who are down, who are really problematic? To help them, you don't go down to their level. You have to find a way to stay up. Finding a way that those people, your spiritual belief, friends who are at a higher level, invite you up. Always be trying to be around something that invites you up. Maybe it's a ritual before you go to work or before you talk to someone. Maybe it's an activity, but it's something that decreases the 100 loves lost, increases the invitation to go up, the invitation to go up. So maybe you change your purpose in life to heal, and you change it into to serve. to be a part of the healing process and not be sucked down into the kind of that muck where I'm not healing, it's not working. How come? Must be that's that lower level. So find a way to come up and to suit up, so to speak, and to serve because your purpose is to serve, not necessarily to heal or to end the war. Get connected, be invited up, invite others up, but find also for you what does invite you up to a higher level. Thank you for listening.